All right. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Early Morning Crypto Talk with Bitcoin Brandon. It is Sunday. Hope you guys have been enjoying your weekend so far. Let's see, who do we have on the line? We've got Lance, John McElwain, Rohan, Michael Honeycutt, Tanya Jacoby, Mr. Ron Ross, Larry Parsons, Vanita, Mafus, Michael, Angel Nieves, Jesse Rojas, Terry Moreno, Chuck Dale. Good morning, good morning. Cryptocurrency news is flooding in like crazy. You know, I normally have a pretty good handle on it, but it is coming in fast and furious. I'd have to literally do probably at this point 4 crypto talks a day just to keep up with the news. Now, I'm already doing 2, and I'm not going to go beyond that. The others I read on my own time, but yeah, it's just, just right now since talking, 3 more good articles popped up for me. So it's happening real fast. We got to stay on top of. Now, as a disclaimer, I'm not a licensed financial advisor to be dispensing financial advice. I read the news, give my opinion, share suggestions, and it is up to you to make an informed, intelligent decision on which direction you want to go in. There's 4 rules I live by in the crypto space. Rule number 1, education is key. It's everything. Rule number 2, never invest money you cannot afford to lose. Rule number 3, always get your return on investment back as fast as possible. And rule number 4, find something that's going to get you to where you want to be in 3 months, 6 months, a year from now. Take action, remain focused, don't get distracted. This isn't going to guarantee you success, but it will minimize your risk. And that's the most that we can ask for. All right, so wow, I've got 15 something articles here. And I got to pick out ones that I feel that really stands out. That's not just, I didn't write this one down in the subject line, but I find this interesting. It says U.S. blockchain spending in 2018 has already eclipsed all of last year. So that gives you a signal of the times. How, inch by inch, blockchain is starting to take over. How it's growing. So here we are halfway through the year, a little bit more than halfway through the year, and spending has already topped all of spending from last year. So what do you think that 2019 is going to look like when it comes to crypto spending or blockchain spending? It's going to be even more. They might top all of 2018 in the first 2 months of 2019, especially when the price of Bitcoin starts to skyrocket. So let's read this article real quick. KPMG releases biannual The Pulse of FinTech report detailing a large increase in blockchain business spending in 2018. Blockchain moves beyond experimentation. One of the largest tax advisory service firms in the world reviewed spending for businesses around the world for the report, which showed a large uptick in large investor interest, such as venture capitals, in first quarter and second quarter in 2018. However, the report pointed out that these investors showed more activity in more mature companies and consortia rather than new entrants in the space, such as startups. The report states, investor interest in blockchain was not limited to one jurisdiction. Good-sized funding rounds were seen during the first half of the year, including $100 million plus rounds to R3 and Circle Internet Finance in the U.S. and $77 million to Ledger in France. The U.S. was particularly active on the blockchain front, with total investment in the first half of the year already exceeding the total seen in 2017. And the year's not even over yet. Though Asia has stood out in several fintech spending outside of the blockchain, the United States still maintains a leading position for blockchain investments in specific. That I like. You guys have listened to me report geopolitical news, how the governments around the world, specifically Russia and China, are speeding to nationalize their own form of cryptocurrency, which is not cryptocurrency, it's digital currency. And they want to marginalize the US dollar and get away from US control of the world's finances. And my beef with that is that the United States government seems to be doing nothing. In fact, the opposite, stifling innovation, getting in the way, trying to maintain the status quo. But here we see that the citizens, American businesses, they're not following suit. They're not stupid. And right now, American businesses, Americans are leading the way on blockchain investments. So that I'm excited about. Says outlook for the rest of the year. Got fintech funding, not just blockchain investments, overall already exceed all of 2017 and is on pace to pass 2015's peak. That totals to $57.9 billion already spent in the first half of 2018. This is good news for the blockchain technology as investors see growing potential in the fintech industry. With the report's focus on the new field of regulation technology, it has a new term now called RegTech. Okay. Finance, interoperability, and supply chain management, blockchain technology should continue to stand out for new investment dollars for the foreseeable future. Good news there. All right, let's see what's another article here. See, if I read these kind of fast, I might be able to get through more of them. I like this one. Here's another sign of the times. You got to follow the trends. Is it growing or is it receding? Well, here we've got payment service BitPay reports growing usage processing $1.2 billion. What this means is more and more people are now using BitPay for the credit card service. Now, why? Because if you have BitPay, that means you have Bitcoin. And if you're using your BitPay card, you're using your Bitcoin to buy stuff with. Even though at the point of transaction is being converted into US dollars. The point of the matter that people are actually using it, you realize that people can actually live 100% off the grid. I can right now. I could live 100% bank free. I don't make US dollars. I make Bitcoin. I don't buy Bitcoin. I earn Bitcoin. I live off of it. I still do a certain percentage that I transfer into US dollars and I report my taxes. But I know people that's living 100% off the grid, especially by using their BitPay card. BitPay's chief commercial officer, Sunny Singh, recently attested to the efficacy of Bitcoin as a means of payment, stating that Bitcoin is being used all around the world for things other than speculation and trading. The CCO also reported that BitPay processed $1.2 billion worth of Bitcoin payment in 2018. It does not matter to BitPay whether it's crashing. That's true. The Sunny Singh, the chief commercial officer of BitPay, recently discussed the use of Bitcoin as a means of payment. Mr. Singh stated that Bitcoin is actually working, adding that when people say, wow, the price has gone down so much, it's crashing, that's not relevant to what I'm doing. The BitPay CCO asserted that the key thing is that Bitcoin is actually being used all around the world for things other than speculation and trading. Mr. Singh claims that BitPay did $1.2 billion last year in payments, adding that such means people spent $1.2 billion of payments using Bitcoin. That's what I said earlier. Despite his belief that Bitcoin is currently working as a means of payment, Mr. Singh emphasized the need for greater education. I could be saying that till I'm blue in the face. Regarding the benefits of cryptocurrency in order to foster adoption. In fact, I'm going to be doing a special Facebook Live later because yesterday I was in a room full of people at a convention in LA. And my job was to educate the room or speak to the room about cryptocurrency, the business that we're using to educate people, cryptogenics, and an investment opportunity with our Green X. I was told I had about 45 minutes to do so, which is still really slim because you can give me 2 days. But it turned out I only had less than 15 minutes. And how do you explain all of that to a room full of people who don't even know what cryptocurrencies are? That was a challenge. So I'm going to do a Facebook Live later on talking about that experience and what I learned from it. It was a learning experience. I've never experienced something kind of like that in my entire career. But we'll talk about that later on. But the key thing is education. And Ron Ross knows what I'm talking about. He was there from beginning to end. He saw how it all went down. In fact, I didn't even know I was going up because I was messing around with my phone, and Ron was like, "Hey, they calling you up right now." I said, "Well," what? Right now? I'm going up right now?" And Ron was like, "Yeah, they're calling you up." All right. So let me continue this because he's right here. Crypto education. In America, everyone is so used to credit cards or goes online and types credit card numbers, but it's safer and easier to do this through QR code because you don't have to give your credit card numbers. The merchants save money in America by paying with Bitcoin because they pay 1% of the transaction fee, but with credit cards, that's 4%. So the merchants can make a lot of money if you are paying with Bitcoin, but yet they don't understand it. They have to be educated about it, and the consumers have to get the habit of spending with Bitcoin. For them, it's better and quicker than credit cards, and better for privacy, he stated. Mr. Singh added that the typical American cryptocurrency user is principally concerned with speculation rather than the utility of Bitcoin, stating, "A lot of people in America have heard of Bitcoin, but not a lot of them own Bitcoin. Even the tech people and college kids bought Bitcoin. They'll not spend it. Though they bought it only for speculation, and if you ask them about Bitcoin, they can tell you about the price, but nothing else." That's true. Because they treat it as an investment tool. We need to get these people to actually start to spend Bitcoin. Okay, that's where I disagree with him. You can't get... See, here's the thing about crypto and being decentralized and not controlled by anybody. It's going to move depending on the will of the people, depending on the psychology and activity of the people. If the people decide that it's only a store of value, then that's what Bitcoin's going to be. It doesn't matter what the author intended it to be. What matters is how the people decide to use it. And the people are not using it as a means of day-to-day use, like the US dollar. They're treating it more like gold. It's just digital gold. And I personally believe it will always be that way. I think that there's going to be another coin that's going to be used as day-to-day activities around the world and not be used as a store of value. That coin may already be existing, or it may not have been invented yet. Something better may come along. But I think Bitcoin will always be seen as a digital gold. Like, I mean, if the Bitcoin's worth $50,000 per coin, why are you selling your coin? Why would you do that when it might go up another $50,000? Now, there might come a time where it stabilizes at $200,000, $300,000 a coin, because it is 8 decimal points. So literally trillions and trillions worth of dollars. But in fact, that's going to be the next article I'm going to go into in a second. Let me finish this. The BitPay CEO indicated that Asia comprises the company's major market, stating, "I have to say that Asia is I thought BitPay was mostly in the United States, in like Shift or some other, I forgot the one in Europe that they use. But their biggest market is Asia? I didn't know that. It will be that way for a long time, not just for trading, but for businesses as well. If you live in China or Korea and you have to pay an invoice to America, let's say $1 million, and you use the bank services, it'll take you 3 to 5 days for that payment to happen and cost 3 to 4% in fees. We can do the whole thing in 1 day for 1% fee by Bitcoin." Now, do you see why this is so big? I mean, just look at that. Look at that. I'm gonna slow down on that part. I'm gonna read it again. If you're trying to move $1 million from Asia to America, then it's going to take 3 to 5 days, and it's going to cost you 3 to 4% in fees. If you use Bitcoin, the transaction happens in 1 day, and the fee is only 1%. So which way do you want to do it by? You want to pay 4% and take 5 days, or do you want to get it in 1 day and only pay 1%? So when businesses really start to figure this out, which way do you think they're going to go? Mr. Singh also expressed his confidence that Bitcoin will become a main street product in the next couple of years, adding, "It just takes a little time." And you know what? This just became a new quote. It says, "That's how Bitcoin solves a real pain point. It's cheaper and quicker than bank wire in most regions of the world." I'm going to copy this and make it a new quote. I like collecting things like this. It's a, you read articles, and every now and then you run across a quote that is impactful. And so give me a second here, because I need to save this quote. And then we're going to move on to the another article that I think is important. Because people are always asking, will Bitcoin replace the US dollar? It doesn't need to replace the US dollar to be effective. They can work hand in hand, side by side. All right, got that quote saved. Okay, let's go to this one. Bitcoin price must hit $213,000 to become viable US dollar replacement. So to equal the US dollar, I guess, at current market value, it has to be $213,000 per coin. So why does it need to be that much? Well, there's only 21 million coins in existence. The Federal Reserve can print as many dollars as they want, whenever they want to. And you can only do that for so long, people. Okay. Even after weathering a bear market that wiped out more than 60% of the flagship cryptocurrency's value, the Bitcoin price continues to trade at a mark far above what its critics thought it could ever reach. Nevertheless, it still has a long way to go if it hopes to supplant the US dollar or even become a viable tool for global payments. That's according to a new report from Swiss investment bank UBS, which found that the Bitcoin price must reach $213,000 to replace the estimated $3.63 trillion worth of USD in circulation. Commonly referred to as the M1, or narrow money supply, at present, Bitcoin has a circulating market cap of $127 billion, which is roughly the size of the M1 supplies maintained by the United Arab Emirates and Turkey. At its peak, Bitcoin boasted a market cap larger than the M1 supplies of all but about 15 countries. The report casts doubt on whether the Bitcoin price could ever reach M1 evaluation, arguing that the assets in its current form cannot sufficiently scale to accommodate the mass of new users who would need to join the network to justify a six-figure Bitcoin price. I disagree with that. Then they say the bank specifically indicates Bitcoin's on-chain transaction capacity, claiming that the network is too unstable and limited to be a viable payment instrument. A statement like that at this day and age is like saying in 1993, email's never going to work because most people don't have a home computer. They don't even know what the internet is, and the ones that do have it have dial-up AOL, and it's too slow. So you'll never be able to stream a video, let alone share information, because it takes too long. Yeah, how'd that work out? You always have to look at, can the market grow? Is there room for improvement? Are we at the early stages? So this says, our findings suggest that Bitcoin in its current form is too unstable. Really? You should always put in there that this may be able to change over time. It says this criticism is somewhat odd, though, since one would be hard-pressed to find anyone, even the most ardent of cryptocurrency enthusiasts, who would argue that Bitcoin at its current valuation and level of technical development is a turnkey replacement for USD. Of course, exactly. Nobody's going to say that, and nobody is saying that. It's like they're making an argument that nobody has put forward yet, or making an opinion on an argument that's not being put forward by the people in the space. But of course, it's coming from the banks. So what else you expect the bank to say? Indeed, many Bitcoin supporters tout it as digital gold, arguing that at least for the foreseeable future, BTC will likely exist alongside fiat currency. That's what I just said. as a store of value before ultimately gaining utility for everyday payments. At present, the network can handle a theoretical limit of 7 transactions per second. At the blockchain layer, at least, however, while Bitcoin's on-chain activity may never match Visa or Alipay, I disagree with that. Developer, you know why I disagree? Because Visa and Alipay will adopt Bitcoin and crypto into their business model if they want to remain relevant. Because you're going to have cards like BitPay come along, but then the BitPay cards they're backed by Visa or MasterCard. So Visa and Alipay and MasterCard, they're going to co-opt it. They're not going to compete against it. It says developers are building second-layer solutions to the Lightning Network, which are designed to move transactions off the main blockchain while still retaining its security. Though still firmly in the testing phase, the Lightning Network can be used to make payments virtually instantly at almost no cost, and supporters are confident that developers will smooth out the kinks in this technological innovation over the coming months and years. That's true. I mean, there's already technology now that I saw, the hash, something I forgot the wording of it, that makes blockchain obsolete. Or, let me put it this way, imagine I'm a video game kid from the 80s and 90s. The new technology that's already being developed right now is makes blockchain look like Nintendo, and the new technology is PlayStation. You see that? You understand the difference there? You guys remember playing Nintendo back in the day? And now you play PlayStation? What's funny is my wife, I play NBA Live, right? Or NBA 2K. And on my big screen, my wife will walk in the room. And I realize that it's a game. She thinks it's like a real NBA game and not a video game. How far technology has come today. But that's where things already are. It's already in development. I think I did a Facebook Live about that a couple months ago. I found it really interesting. I'm like, you guys are already past the blockchain? All right. Next article here. Talk about healthcare. Denver-based healthcare ICO issued cease and desist for offering securities. The healthcare industry is going to be a major disruptor with blockchain technology. Major. I can't advise. I would highly suggest that is one industry you definitely want to look into if you want to invest in things in the future. That is huge. Is it really? Someone just sent me a direct message, knowing that I'm on the Facebook Live talking about crypto and telling me I need to stop what I'm doing and I need to check out this airdrop, this something else, and jump on that and forget about what I'm doing. Really? This comes down to always, you got to remain focused. Stay focused on what you're doing. Okay, enough of that distraction. Denver base. Okay. Colorado Securities Commissioner Gerald Rome has issued a cease and desist order to Florida-based Linda Healthcare Corp. And its founder Arturo Devesa, halting the company's ICO due to the token sale being deemed an offering of an unregistered security. You've got to be careful with this. There's a lot of different ICOs that's popping up. Why are they doing this? Or, or will it affect, they use this as a precedent for other ICOs? The cease and desist is a reaffirmation of a previous ruling made in July by Administrative Judge Matthew Norwood. Linda Healthcare Corp. Issued a cease and desist. The Colorado Department of Regulatory Agencies Division of Securities first became aware of Linda Healthcare Corporation's Linda Health Coin, the LNDA, in April. A press release published by the Colorado Department of Regulatory Agencies states that the LNDA token was advertised to be used to purchase specific Linda Health insurance. Okay, well, come on now. You got to be careful with that right there. You're using a token to purchase health insurance, covering the telemedicine through an artificial intelligence chat service that creates medical solutions through use of blockchain technology. I'm not saying that the idea isn't great, but coming out the gate saying that is what you want to use it for is, see, there's other healthcare companies out there and ICOs that has coins representing them, but it's more for the data and tracking of your health charts, your history, your medical history, what type of medicines you need to take, and if you go to different doctors, then they just look at the blockchain and they can see your whole history there. Here, it looks like they are trying to say, no, our coin is actually going to be used to purchase health insurance. Now that crosses a line. That crosses a line. And that, well, let me continue seeing anything more they have to say about this. The release asserts that potential buyers of LNDA coin are not providing disclosures of the risk of investing in cryptocurrency, and a pop-up that states that this particular ICO constitutes a security in the state of Colorado can be closed and easily ignored. Wait a minute. They even popped it up. So wait, I got to defend them on this. So they even admit that there's a pop-up. A pop-up that states that this particular ICO constitutes a security in the state of Colorado. So they're saying Colorado, well, you can close it. Yeah, how many commercials do we see about healthcare or take this type of medicine or do this? And at the very bottom, it's got the disclosure that you can't read unless you have a magnifying glass. And the only way you're going to do that is if you record it, pause it, so that, because it's only flashed on the screen for 3 seconds. Whatever lawyer they've got should be able to shut that argument down real quick. You're saying that they have a disclosure, but it can easily be closed. Yeah, that's not going to fly. LNDA ICO determined to compromise security offerings. Okay, how? The company claimed that its offering resembled a crowdfunding campaign. However, Judge Norwood found that the offering, as detailed in the company's white paper and website, falls under the classification of an investment contract. So now we're going to semantics here. One judge reads it one way, another judge will read it a different way. Judge Norwood determined that an LNDA token is a security and that it meets all 3 prongs of the Howey test. It is 1, a contract, transaction, or scheme whereby a person invests his or her money. Okay. 2, a common enterprise. Okay. And 3, is led to expect profits solely for the efforts of the promoter or a third party. Okay, I might have to agree with that there. Commissioner Rome stated, ICOs are highly risky and should only be undertaken by sophisticated investors with the understanding that they may lose most or all of their funds. You know what? If I were an ICO, go through the regulation process. Just go through the regulation process. And you're good. Yeah, it's going to cost you more money. But the amount of money you're making off the freaking ICO, you can afford it. And it will take you a little bit longer. But it's gonna imagine the mark. See, I'm a marketing guy. Imagine you going out there and you're marketing your ICO, and the first thing you say is, we are registered with the SEC, where 99% of other ICOs are not. So now people have confidence. You're going to raise a boatload of money if you do it the right way. You stand up, higher than the crowd. That means when your coin hits the exchange and people have confidence, the SEC ain't going to try to shut it down. You're going to get rich. But it is costly to go through that process. All right, I'm done with that one. Let's see, another article here. High Times becomes first ever IPO to accept cryptocurrencies. Ooh. First ever ICO to accept cryptocurrencies. That's right, Kathy. Private mining, private ICOs, not going to the market. That's kind of how IPOs are designed, because most people are priced out of an IPO anyway. All right, let's see. Where's that article? High Times here. Legacy Cannabis Culture Media, High Times Holding Corp., will be accepting Bitcoin and Ethereum during its IPO. By doing so, it will purportedly become the first traditional stock offering ever to accept investments through cryptocurrencies. Now, that's history in the making there. High Times Magazine will take advantage of Regulation A+ crowdfunding, which is designed to allow small companies to take advantage of IPO procedures to crowdsource up to $50 million in public offering. Okay, so you see what they did right there? It's saying will allow small companies. That's important. It didn't say individuals. Small companies. Interestingly enough, the company's IPO will supposedly become the first one to accept cryptocurrencies as a means of participation in the process. Adam Levin, CEO, says High Times has been at the forefront of popular culture for more than 4 decades. Now we're taking another step into the future as not only one of the first cannabis-related brands to go public on the NASDAQ, but also as the first to allow Bitcoin and Ethereum as part of our public capital raise. They say leaving out cryptocurrencies is foolish. The CEO of High Times also pointed out that they didn't see an ICO process as an appropriate move. Nevertheless, he also said leaving out an emerging investor base of the kind would be foolish. While we didn't believe that the ICO process was the right move for our brand, it would have been foolish to leave this emerging investor base out as we continue to transform into a diversified media, events, and merchandise giant. By allowing investments in Bitcoin, now at the time of this article, Bitcoin was at $7,439, and that was just, like 24 hours ago or so. Right now, Bitcoin's price is $7,045. And we're going to talk about that in a moment. Cryptocurrencies have created a new investor base across the world, which is giving them more stable opportunities for investment. That's a great move to make. I like that. It's starting a new trend here. If you are trying to have an IPO or raise money, your goal is to raise money. Why would you leave out people who've got money in the form of Bitcoin? That's just common sense. All right, this one, Bitcoin price preparing for a breakout, but must hold above $6,800, Wall Street Trader says. Okay, last week, when Bitcoin shot up to $8,200, $8,300, and all the articles were talking about the bears are dead, the bulls are here, ETF, blah, blah, blah. Do you remember what I said at the time? I said, for those who have forgotten, that I don't think so. That I believe that the market is in tune for at least one more market correction this summer. At least. And I said it's going to drop down, probably down to $6,000 before coming back up. I said that last week. And then there was a quick flash when the Winklevoss twins ETF was denied. The market dropped from 8,100 to 7,700. And I made a move because I believed that was the market trend, and I lost on it because it came right back up to 8,100. And then for about 4 or 5 days. And then all of a sudden, boom, it dropped again. And it dropped like a rock from 8,100 all the way down to, I think the low it got was 6,700, 6,800. Wait. Let me look at my exchange. 24-hour low, 68.99. It got down to in the last 24 hours. So yeah. This could be the market drop that I talked about last week. If it goes below 6,800, if it right now is 7,000, if it continues to hang at this level, this was that market drop I'm talking about. And let's see. I want to read this. I haven't read this article yet to see what it has to say. See if my thinking is in line with this, because I know after September comes, it's a psychological thing about the month of August. People are either on vacation or finishing up their vacation and coming back home. They are now switching their minds from summertime back to, school time zone. Whether you are in college, a kid, or you've got children, and everything starts to turn back on in September. And even the markets. Look at what happened with crypto last year, around September and October. That's just how it is. Everything starts to come back alive again, back into the flow of things, and you're going to see a breakout. And we're just at the beginning of August right now. We still got the whole month to go. So this article, let's see what this has to say. One of Wall Street's biggest crypto bulls said that the Bitcoin price could be primed for a breakout as long as it continues to hold near its present level at $7,500. Bart Smith, head of digital asset at Pennsylvania-based trading firm Susquehanna International Group, provided this analysis during an interview with CNBC, explaining that he is watching to see whether Bitcoin continues to hit price highs as it rebounds from the year-to-date low set in early June. The key support level, he said, is $6,800. I agree with him. The technicians I have talked to are concerned about $6,800. That's the level where I think if it breaks through, it would be negative. Echoing comments made by Tom Lee, founder of Wall Street strategist Fundstrat, Smith said that it's a positive sign that the Bitcoin price did not experience a massive sell-off in the immediate aftermath of the news that U.S. regulators had denied the Winklevoss brothers' latest Bitcoin ETF application. While the Bitcoin price has shed approximately $1,000 in the week, yeah, you guys see the market cap? It went from like 297 billion to now 255 billion in a week. $45 billion loss in a week. So, says it did not relinquish all of the gains it had made during the run-up to the ETF decision and has moreover managed to hold well above the key $6,800 level. Smith further explained that institutions have yet to grapple with the reality of Bitcoin's risk profile. Though a highly volatile asset, large-scale buyers can actually use it to reduce the risk of their overall portfolio. Bitcoin basically has a zero correlation to stocks. I don't know about that, because let me finish reading it and I'm going to make my statement on this. It says Bitcoin basically has a zero correlation to stocks, and by going 1% Bitcoin and 99% equities, my risk profile is lower, he said. Square is half as volatile as Bitcoin, so if I own $100 of Square and own $50 of Bitcoin, I basically got the same risk on. Okay, here's why I was hesitant on that statement. Has zero correlation to stocks. If you go back and watch that video that Glenn Beck did with Tika pulled up a chart showing the correlation between the stock market and Bitcoin, and it was damn near identical. I was like, whoa. Now, he was based on history, not day to day, not, how the stock market is today correlating to the Bitcoin market, but more like showing the rise and fall of how it works. It was identical. So I'm skeptical on that, but I do not have enough personal information about the stock market to really comment on that. Just made an observation. Once institutions begin to think about Bitcoin this way, he said, brand name pensions, endowments, and insurance companies could begin to take up small positions in Bitcoin, a move that would likely incite a bull cycle. Let me tell you what that means in layman's terms. Remember that last article where it said they don't think that the coin will ever get to $200,000? There's not enough money, not enough usage. Here's where they failed to look at. The average people out there have money that's in their 401k or in their what accounts do we want to use here? Endowments and pensions and insurance, life insurance and whatnot. Do you realize how big that is? We're talking in the trillions. If those firms decide to just put 1 to 5% of those funds into crypto, then the crypto market will jump from where it is right now, 255 billion, to 4 to 5 trillion. You guys understand that? If the world's pensions and insurance companies and endowments, if they were to put just 5% into crypto, the crypto market jumps to $4 trillion. Now, when the market was at 800 and 900 billion, what was the price of Bitcoin? $19,000 per coin. So if it's moving like that, and you add another $1 trillion, now you're looking at $50,000 to $60,000 a coin. You add another trillion, 3 trillion. Now you're looking at close to $100,000 a coin. You get to 4 to 5 trillion. Now you're at $250,000 to $400,000 per coin. So I'm going to give you some free advice on what to watch for. Watch for any news, anything that comes out that starts to talk about traditional pensions, endowments, insurance companies, life insurance, people that put their money in 401ks and stuff, and mutual funds, for them to start putting a percentage into, it doesn't have to be all of it, just a percentage of it into crypto, and watch the market explode. That's your telltale sign that things are about to happen. All right, I gave you some free knowledge there on that one. What to look out for. What am I, 48 minutes in? Let's see, do I have time to do another article? Let's see, I've got here. Canaan Creative announces world's first mining TV set. No. Wikipedia will absolutely never turn to cryptocurrencies except Bitcoin anyways. Yeah, I want to read that one. Japan Labor Ministry confused as crypto salaries demand increase. Huh? Oh, wait. Which one? Which one do I go by? That one looks pretty long. I'll save that one for tonight. Let's go with Wikipedia. Wikipedia, we'll absolutely never turn to crypto, but they're going to accept Bitcoin. Hypocrites. All right. Oh, I forgot to put that other article there. So let me put this one here. Okay. Wikipedia. Jimmy Wales, founder of the popular free online encyclopedia, expressed his utter reservation towards the field of cryptocurrencies. When asked about whether Wikipedia even considers cryptocurrencies or the launch of a potential ICO, he said that they are absolutely never going to do that. Despite his skepticism towards the field, Wales was recently invited to hold a speech at Block Show Europe 2018 in Berlin. Speaking on the matter, the founder of Wikipedia said, "I have reservations about blockchain. It's a super interesting technology, but it's clearly a bubble with a lot of mania and hype around it. People pay me to give speeches, so I flew to Berlin. I really do like the city. I think it's great. So you was only there really because they paid you to go and you wanted to see the city. But you have reservations about blockchain." But he says it's clearly a bubble. Really? Back it up. Back up what you say that it's clearly a bubble. How so? So it's also worth noting that this time isn't the first time Wales has expressed his criticism towards ICOs. In 2017, he's told NBC, "I think blockchain is a super interesting technology, that there are a lot of fads going on right now. There are a lot of these ICOs, which in my opinion are absolute scams, and people should be very wary of things that are going on in that area." Okay. Contrary to what one would expect, given Wells' serious reservation, the Wikipedia Foundation formally accepts Bitcoins as a means of making a donation. Will somebody call him out on that? This is why, I'd love to be in debates. You're going to put me on the stage with this fool, and he runs his mouth talking about it's clearly a bubble. Really? Then why are you accepting Bitcoin as donations? Because if what you say is true, then this isn't going to be worth anything, which means people are giving you monopoly money that's going to have no value in the future. The mere fact that you're doing it suggests you have some form of belief that it is real money. Never listen to what people say in this space. Follow what they do. They always have an agenda. Follow what they do. All right, that's the end of that. I will be doing 2 more Facebook Lives today. One in the afternoon. I don't know if I'll be swimming or going to rock and jump or something for my son. But I will be doing a Facebook Live. And I'm going to talk about what happens when you're in a room full of people that know nothing about cryptocurrency. They're not even there to learn about cryptocurrency. And you're given 15 minutes to spread awareness about it to them. What happens? Well, I experienced it. And I'm going to share my experience and what I learned from that. Because it did open my eyes to something else. Not what was going on in that room, but to something that's much, much bigger. That I was having, while I was speaking, I was having aha moments in my head. And I'm going to talk about that later. And then I'll be back for Late Night Crypto Talk tonight. Why are you doing all these crypto talks about Bitcoin, Brandon? My question is, why aren't you? This is the future. I'm all over it. All right. See you guys later. Have a great day. Bitcoin Brandon out. Bye-bye.
Crypto Gen X.